The Battle for Maple Grove, a tale of justice and retribution. The first rule of living in Maple Grove was clear. You didn't cross Evelyn Harper. The second, unspoken rule was that if you were a black man who bought the grandest house on Cedar Drive, you'd already broken the first rule just by being there. I learned this the hard way. My name is James Carter, a 52-year-old software architect, and my wife, Diane, is a senior 911 dispatcher for the county. We moved to Maple Grove, a picturesque suburban enclave with sprawling oaks and pristine lawns, chasing the American dream. What we found was a nightmare named Evelyn Harper, a self-crowned queen whose petty tyranny would push us to the edge and reveal the power of truth. We arrived a year ago, drawn by the promise of tranquility. Our two-car garage and hefty mortgage felt like badges of success. But Evelyn, a woman in her late 60s with a steely bob and a perpetual scowl, ruled the Homeowners Association, HOA, with an iron grip. As president, treasurer, and secretary, she was a one-woman guillotine, slicing through anyone who dared defy her. Her house, directly across from ours, was her fortress, where she spied on the neighborhood, noting every infraction in her little black book. Our first week brought a welcome basket: artisanal jams, local honey, and a 20-page HOA rulebook highlighted in neon yellow. It wasn't a greeting, it was a warning. The microaggressions followed swiftly. A note on our door complained our doormat's shade was non-compliant. An email fussed about the excessive volume of our jazz music played so softly it wouldn't wake a mouse. Evelyn would lock her car with a loud chirp whenever I fetched the mail. Once, while I mowed the lawn, she asked Diane if the help needed water, gesturing at me. Diane, with her unshakable grace, replied, "My husband's fine, Evelyn, but thanks." The flicker of rage in Evelyn's eyes was our small victory. Her racism wasn't always subtle. During one of her neighborhood patrols, she stopped me as I planted roses. "We maintain a traditional aesthetic here," she said, her voice dripping with fake concern. "Those bright colors might be too urban." I kept my cool. "They're roses, Evelyn. As suburban as it gets." She scribbled in her notepad and stormed off, her sneakers squeaking. We nicknamed her the Rulebook Reaper, a private joke to cope with her harassment. We thought we could handle her. We were wrong. The storm broke on a crisp Tuesday morning. I was in a Zoom meeting, coffee in hand, when the doorbell erupted in frantic jabs. Peering through the peephole, I saw Evelyn, clutching a clipboard like a shield. Bracing myself, I opened the door. "James," she snapped, peering past me. "There's been a report." "A report?" I said, irritation rising. "It's 10 a.m. What? A rogue lawn ornament." "This is serious," she hissed. "Per HOA bylaws, Article 7, Section C, Subsection 4. I have the right to inspect your home for suspected violations affecting property values." She claimed an anonymous tip about unauthorized changes to our load-bearing walls, a ludicrous accusation. I hadn't touched a wall. The only modification was a new light bulb. "You're not stepping foot in my house without a warrant," I said firmly. "This is private property." Her face reddened. "I'm the HOA president. I have a duty." When I blocked her path, her composure shattered. "People like you think the rules don't apply," she spat. "This was a respectable neighborhood before you brought your noise and disregard." "People like me?" I said, voice low. "Finish that sentence, Evelyn." She faltered, then doubled down. "You don't belong here." Pointing a trembling finger, she vowed to drive me out. I told her to leave. As I closed the door, she unleashed a blood-curdling scream. I froze, thinking she'd collapsed. Peering out, I saw a performance worthy of an Oscar. Evelyn had flung herself onto my walkway, writhing theatrically, clutching her ankle. "He pushed me," she wailed. "The brute pushed me down the stairs." There were no stairs, just a 6-inch step. I hadn't touched her. Neighbors peeked from windows as she dialed 911, sobbing about her broken leg. Panic surged. A black man accused of assaulting an elderly white woman? The narrative could ruin me. My doorbell camera's battery was dead, no video proof. Then, a spark of hope. Diane was on duty as a 911 dispatcher. The call was likely going to her. That evening, Diane played the recording. Evelyn's histrionics were met with Diane's calm, probing questions. "You said he pushed you downstairs, but our records show a single-step porch. Can you clarify?" Evelyn stammered. "It felt like stairs." Diane asked about a compound fracture with bone protruding. Evelyn claimed blood was everywhere. Paramedics found no injury, not a scratch. Police noted Evelyn's history of false complaints. Diane's questions had dismantled her lies in real time. Evelyn didn't stop. A certified letter arrived from a law firm, accusing me of assault and Diane of conspiring to delay medical care. The suit demanded $500,000 for fabricated injuries, a broken ankle, fractured hip, spinal damage, and PTSD. We hired Walter Brooks, a razor-sharp litigator who relished the case. "We're not just defending," he said. "We're countersuing for malicious prosecution." Discovery was a goldmine. Evelyn's medical records showed no injuries, only a history of exaggerating ailments. HOA records revealed her targeting minority familiasis, the Singhs, and the Martin-Swift petty complaints. At her deposition, Walter shredded her story, using the 911 call and paramedic reports to expose her lies. She unraveled, accusing everyone of a conspiracy. The trial was a rout. The judge, a no-nonsense woman, dismissed Evelyn's suit, convicted her of perjury and false reporting, and awarded us legal fees plus $50,000 in damages. Evelyn's face was a mask of defeat. The neighborhood exhaled. At an emergency HOA meeting, we used Evelyn's own bylaws against her. Article 12, Section F allowed sanctions for harassing activities. With testimony from the Singhs, Martinez's, and others, we voted to force Evelyn to sell her home. She was gone in 90 days, her house bought by the Thompsons, a warm young family. Peace reigned until a venomous article appeared in the Beacon, a sensationalist outlet. Written by Evelyn's nephew, Nathan Harper, it painted her as a saint and us as villains. I was a thug, Diane, a corrupt dispatcher, who mocked a dying woman. The article incited a mob. Diane was placed on leave. We were doxxed, our lawn trashed. Neighbors grew distant, wary of the controversy. We fought back. Walter filed a defamation suit against Nathan and the Beacon. We launched a blog, Maple Grove Truth, posting court records, the 911 call, and neighbor testimonies. The tide began to turn. Then, Walter's team uncovered an email from Nathan to Evelyn, sent days before her fall. It outlined a plan to frame me, using the HOA bylaws and a staged 911 call to play the victim card hard. Walter ambushed Nathan in a deposition, forcing him to face the email. He crumbled, pleading the fifth. We took the email to a primetime news show where the Beacon's editor was blindsided. The fallout was swift. Nathan was fired. The Beacon retracted the story, and they settled for a fortune. Diane was reinstated, promoted, and commended. We didn't keep the money. It felt tainted. Instead, we founded the Maple Grove Justice Fund, offering free legal aid to victims of HOA abuse and discriminatory lawsuits. At the fund's launch, I stood before our neighbors' friends like the Thompsons, Singhs, and Martin Sand declared, Evelyn wanted us gone. Instead, her hate has funded a shield for justice. Our victory was absolute. Maple Grove was ours again, a true community. The Rulebook Reaper's legacy was not tyranny, but a beacon of fairness, built from her own defeat. What do you think? Have you faced bullies or injustice in your life? Share your thoughts in the comments. Should we always fight back, or is there a line we shouldn't cross? Let's hear your stance.